So, hey everybody, I'm TK, and today we're going to introduce another breast implant illness survivor, Julie. She's from Quebec, Canada. But what we're doing today, we're educating and empowering the community with my charity, SuperHairoes.org, and our preventative holistic directory, community medically challenged.community. I started a couple groups a few years ago because I myself had renal cell carcinoma, as you guys know, and the charity is to help inspire, empower, and educate you guys to not do what we have. So we're going to bring another BII survivor today with her superhero success story, Julie. Let's start. Go ahead and introduce yourself, what your occupation is, where you're from, and then just start to tell the viewers why you started reaching out and looking for groups and how you even begun to start your journey with breast implant illness.
Okay, so thank you for inviting me. My name is Julie Christe. I'm from Quebec, Canada, and I'm a French language. My first language is French, and I'll try my best to speak English, hoping I'm not doing so many mistakes and you understand my story. First, I had an implant. I'm a teacher, of course, and but I had an implant at age of 17 years old, and it was only one implant I have to correct an asymmetry that I had. And the doctor said to me that it was wrong to have only one breast and that I should have an implant to fix it and make it equal. But at that time, as you can imagine, at 17 years old, you don't know that the doctor is wrong, and I should have said no to that surgery, but I didn't know at that time. So I said yes, and the doctor said to me, it will be for a lifetime, and it will be no problem with it. I could do whatever I want, and I don't need to take it out, and I could do my sports, and I could have child, and I could do whatever. And it will not show that it's a fake one because it was a smooth one and it was a texture one. So it would stay inside of me at the good place without moving. And when a man would touch me, it won't feel that it was the fake one and the real one. So I attached myself to that idea that it would not show because I was so ashamed and I was so scared that people would know I have one real and one fake one.
Right.
And I had it at 17, and then they put it inside of me in May 1988, and the scar would not close, and a hole would stay open, and everything was coming out, blood and different colors, like the purple one, the green one, the yellow, the blood and translucent color too. And it took about 6 months, like until November, that the doctor finally said to me, "Oh, I made a mistake." And when I closed the skin with the scar, I made a mistake and I made the hole inside the implant, and that's why it's not closing. So I will take it out and I will put you another one a few months later. So I just agree, and I thought something could happen like this. And then she took it out in November 1988, and I turned 18 at that time. And then she put it back in August 1989. And since then, I got it inside of me until February 27, 2019. So almost 30 years I got it. And I was sick like hell, like all my life. I had problems with my hair, problem with my skin, problem with my memory, problems with my speaking, problem with my liver, problem with my intestine, and problem with the pain. I remember the pain in my bone. It felt like someone was breaking my bone everywhere inside of me, and I had inflammation problem and chronic inflamed too inside of all parts of my body, even in my head. Sometimes I thought that the doctor would have made a mistake, and I would have a brain cancer because I had so much pain inside of me. And each year I got worse and worse and worse. I lost many times my job. I needed to stop working many times and then go back and then stop again and go back. And the last 4 years before knowing that my problem was really the implant causing me this, I was bedridden for 2 years without of work, and I couldn't see the light coming up. And I said to my daughters, maybe I will be dying in few years because I couldn't walk. I was in bed and couldn't do nothing, and could even lift up my right side where the implant was,
Right.
and my hands was so weak with the muscle. I couldn't take my phone. I couldn't open the fridge. I couldn't do nothing. It was like worse and worse and worse. And I couldn't see something coming up from this until one day I heard on TV an interview, a French movie, a French interviewer that was interviewing a lady that had an implant and problem with it. And then I listened to that on TV and I said, oh God, this is what I have. I
Right.
really have an implant and I'm sure now it's this. So
Right.
immediately I listened to that movie, not movie, sorry, that interview. I listened to this, and inside there was Dr. Fang,
Right.
and there was Dr. Blair too. So I reach on I search and I reach Dr. Blair on the phone, and I found Dr. Fang, and I spoke both to them. And I right away, in less than 40 days, Dr. Fang took me as an emergency case, and I was so blessed that she really took me. I flew there, and she give this. She done the surgery. She took out everything. She found pieces inside of me, and she confirmed to me that everything was out. And that was so shocking to me because before going to her, I needed to pass tests in my own province in Quebec. So
Right.
I've done MRI, and I've done, I don't know if I said correctly, and I've done ultrasound. And here in my province, everything was fine. They say I had completely nothing.
Right.
And when I went over there, I needed to do another ultrasound. And the doctor there said he saw all the silicone inside of me, and
Right.
he put a marker inside on my skin to make sure that Dr. Feng knows where to look and where to take it out. Because what's saying, if those things, silicone or pieces, that if those things will stay inside of me, I would have be sick over and over again without knowing that those things are inside. So
Right.
that's why it was so important when you go and get your implant out inside of your body, you make sure you have the best doctor who believe in BII. This is what I think it is, because when they believe, I think inside of their head, they know the importance to take everything out, not to leave nothing inside. Because when you have something that stays inside, you can get sick again. And
Right.
I think that was the reason why I didn't take any chances, and I just took the best one that was on earth. It was Dr. Feng. I knew it was her. So I fly to her.
So for the viewers that are watching, Dr. Fang is actually on my TED Talk and on my news story, and she's the pioneer and the original actually of this. You know, there's a couple out there. So what we're trying to say is a lot of these ladies that have gotten explant, and that's, we call it explant. Now, myself, I actually had a little bit different story, because what you're saying, Julie, if you kept them in, it starts mutating and we become very acidic. It's called metabolic acidosis. Now, what happens also, what she was saying about the silicone, it's called Asia. So it's an autoimmunity induced by silicone avogens. Now, these doctors that are putting the implants in clearly have read records. That's all I'm saying. And we're trying to advocate. I have to always be careful what I say. So we're trying to advocate to a lot of these plastic surgeons about explanting, because when we talk about explant, and we'll pan in some pictures later, it's physically the whole capsule has to come out. And until that's done, there's really going to be a hard time trying to recover. So after you explanted, which is crazy, so you had them in for 30 years, you had the same capsule for 30 years, correct?
Correct. It
Wow.
was the same thing, yeah. And the first one that I said that was broken, when the doctor took it out in November, she said to me at that time, I took everything out, you'll be okay, and I put you another one in August, like a few months later.
Right.
But Dr. Feng found inside of me the first capsule and the second capsule, so it was not true. So
Right.
even if a doctor said they'll take everything out, if they don't have the expertise how to do it,
Right.
they'll think they've done it, but they're not gonna do it correctly. That is wrong. So that's why it's really important to find a doctor that knows how to do it and search for pieces inside of you.
And just to comment with that, we'll probably pan in pictures of my capsules and the tissue. And this is what a lot of the ladies aren't understanding. You know, me personally, I'm 53. I'm not sure how old are you?
I'm 50.
So back in the day when we got implants, we didn't know what we know now, right? I mean, we didn't know all of this. So it's like kind of smoking. If there's a label that says you're going to get cancer, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes, right? So back then we didn't know. So also to reiterate to our viewers, it doesn't matter if it's saline, silicone, water, gummy worms. I had silicone the first, saline the second. I actually had renal cell carcinoma from the saline because it was forming so much bacteria causing metabolic acidosis, right? So when ladies ask us, it doesn't matter what implant you have. We're even now joining more groups for medically implanted devices, like we talk about mesh. There's all of these adjuvants that are in these things that we put against our body. So after you explanted, can you tell the viewers, some of them that are on this journey to explant, some, you know, the symptoms, like immediately disappear, rashes, any stomach things, like what could you feel right away, if anything? Was it right away?
Yes, absolutely. When I arrived at Dr. Feng's office, the 26th of February 2019, she got the operation on me, the surgery, the next day, the 27th. And then immediately when I came out of her office, all the pain inside of my body, all the joint, all the muscle was gone immediately. And my eyes was like clear open. I could see, I could talk properly. I didn't have pain inside my head over here. I didn't have pain over here. And even the skin over here that was all tense and with wrinkles inside was all gone.
Wow.
And my face was so small. And the stomach inside was not tense. And I could even feel the food inside, the taste of it.
Wow.
And I didn't have this. And then it was suddenly it was all there. And I was laughing. I was like so happy about all this. It was all gone suddenly and it never came back. Now it's 2 years in February. Next week, it will be 2 years. I'm explant and I have no pain, never it came back. And I'm so blessed with this because I know some women, they still have pain and they still have problem. I'm blessed that I don't have it. I don't know if it's because I have like I need to eat good. I need to take care of myself because we need to take care of, but I think we need to help ourselves to feel better.
Right.
And I think it's important that we need to put good food inside of us to feel better. And also, like you said that there are symptoms like Asia. I do have this because after that I saw Dr. Feng, I flew to Dr. Cohen Teveret. It is in Alberta. And he diagnosed me with Asia, and he's the one who understands most all my symptoms about the breast implant I had inside of me.
Right.
And he said to me that we don't know if some symptoms will come back,
Right.
or if some will stay forever, or if some will finally go away, like Dr. Bless said, because I spoke to him too many times. And he said that some symptoms can go, but maybe in 2 years after, 3 years, or even 5 years after, because I had it for 30 years. So my body needs to detox and get over all that things inside. But we don't know until time passes to know if everything will be out or if few things will stay. But I know I experienced that I need to take multiply vitamins, and especially the vitamin D3, and I need to take it like it's 10,000 units per day, not 10,000 units per week, like usually the doctor will give to women if they feel they have lack of vitamin D. In my case, I needed to take it every day, so it's 10,000 10,000 Zmiel. I don't know if I said
Yeah.
correctly the numbers.
We talked about that.
I need to take this.
Right. We were talking about
I
that
need to.
yesterday in the groups. To let the viewers know, when we talk about Asia and autoimmunity induced by silicone adjuvants, what she's talking about, because the issue with the surgeon the first time not removing that capsule and actually cutting into that sac. So she had what's called a silicone bleed. And sometimes when we talk about that, that can be, you're lucky because something like that, you know, taps into our kidney, releasing spandium. So as far as supplements, like I even say this with my patients that I treat, we almost like double up. Like we have to double up everything, and especially
Yes.
even if we don't have breast implants, vitamin D right now, because of all the pollution and chemicals, we have to kind of double up everything. We have to yoga 4 times a day now instead of 1, right? So when you explanted, and then Dr. Fang, do you want, to end the podcast, if somebody new is watching this that actually is thinking of implants, which I don't know how that could still be happening, but it's still happening. I have people still even ask me, and I'm like, I had cancer. So what can you say powerfully impacts to somebody that's thinking about getting implants?
I don't understand too that with all those information we have right now, I don't know how a woman can say, I want to have implant. Well, I should say to those women, please read or make sure you do understand that implants have symptoms that you can have, and then make the list out of it, and make sure that you make a choice with the conscious of maybe you can have it. And if you, at the end of thinking of all the symptoms and looking to your own body and your own health file, if I should say like this, if you have a profile, this is what the Dr. Tirette said. Sometimes there's women like me have a certain profile of health that are I don't know if it's the good word, propice. It's it can make it come more and more those symptoms inside of me. Maybe if I had another kind of profile, I would have only some symptoms, but that you don't know it until you live it, because there's nothing, there's no research that can make you a blood test and say, oh, you can have implant, or you cannot have it because you will have more symptoms than another one. You don't know until you have it inside. And I think that what I experienced, it was that the first year you don't know you have symptoms because it comes slowly and slowly, and then they put it all the time the symptoms on, well, you're a woman, well, you have hormones, well, you're growing up, well, you're getting in age, well, you have a baby, and they put it all the time on something else.
Right.
Or you have a skin rash. Well, it's normal to have a skin rash, but when you think about it, it is not normal because it was coming on and off all the time, uh, popping like a popcorn, coming out, and then, oh, what is this? And then suddenly it disappear, suddenly it appear again. And when it's not the skin, well, it's the hair. When it's not the hair, well, it's the mouth. When it's not this, well, it's the eye leaking or the eye dry. Or even with me, with my earring, I was losing sounds and I needed to wear hearing aids. And after implant, suddenly I don't need to wear it. I only have one now, and it's getting more and more better. So I think there's an impact directly on my health that if I didn't have implant, I wouldn't need to wear one. Probably my ear would be okay, but now I have damage inside of it. So to me, I think what I would say to those women, please make a list of all the symptoms you have before having an implant. Make sure you have this down on a paper on your file, and make sure you understand and you know in what you're going to engage yourself, and see if then you make sure that the list of symptoms with breast implant that everyone knows now, you put it on your desk, and each month or each 6 months, you check it out. And if something is coming out, you'll know it's because you put implant inside of you. Then you'll know you need to do something to take it out. But you need to know also that if you even take it out, maybe you will have done damage inside of your immunity system. Did I say it correctly? Inside of you, you can have damage that could stay for a lifetime. So this is an engagement you can do for your own self. So to me, as I know it now, I would never say yes to this. If I knew only one symptoms, I would have said no. But this is not what they said to me. They said to me, is no danger, you have nothing, it will stay for a lifetime.
So for the viewers listening, I actually heard the same thing, lost a kidney and a lot of everything else. So my ending with this podcast is to say congratulations. It's really exciting when we get to hear stories like yours. And as I said, for the viewers who are watching this, because I consult with people all day long, even if you explant, that doesn't mean everything's going to magically fix. Some of us, like you and I, after my explant, I think I actually started back bike riding. That's when I started bike riding. It was like instant for me. But prior to that, I was super healthy. So it all depends, right? But the whole
Yes.
point of these videos and why she's sharing her story is, at the end of the day, it's about trying to educate the masses. And if you guys need any more information, there's plenty of groups. Dr. Feng has a group. I have a group. You can find, we'll send links. It's all about prevention, empowerment, and educating you guys not to do what we did. So I'm so happy, and I'm glad you told your story. Do you feel better?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's really important because if I didn't hear a story about a woman with breast implant with symptoms and problems, I wouldn't know for myself. I will be still looking for something, or maybe I would not be there anymore because I was like really bedridden and feel like I was dying completely. Nothing would work inside of my body. I was really, for 3 years in a row, nothing was coming better. It was worse and worse and worse. So if I hear something, someone say something that helped me, now it's my turn to help others. Now it's my turn to say, I passed through it. I'm coming out from this. Please now know there's something there. If you have symptoms and you have implant, there's something you can do about it. We can't guarantee everything will be out and everything will be perfect. We can't guarantee that your life will come back just like this.
Right.
It can take times, or it can go easy. You can have flare-ups and all this, but at least you'll be out of it and you feel probably much better than with the implant inside. And for those who would like to think to put inside of you, please listen to other ladies that pass through it and really think of it. But if you do make the choice to put it inside, at least you'll know what you can go through, and then you'll know there's a way to come out of it, but with consequences that can stay inside. This is what they need to think about.
I'm so happy for you, and it's just, I bet your daughters probably want to say something too, because they were all excited. So her daughters had to get her hair ready for her interview. They were excited.
Yeah, I know. And they're so happy because, when I was with the implant, I was so sick, and I was not happy anymore. I didn't laugh for a few years. I didn't talk. I was so sad. I was so in pain.
Right.
And my daughter said to me, they're so happy because they say, "Hey, Mom, since you're explanted, you have hair." I'm so happy I have hair. And I have arrows, and I have the thing over here. I don't know the name in English, but I have this too. And they're growing, and my skin is better, and I can smile, I can talk, and they're so happy. And my younger one, when she was coming into my bed, when she was younger, she said to me, "Now I know that you feel better because when you sleep, Mommy, you don't move anymore." I said, "Oh, thank you. I'm so happy."
Because I know that, and for
it changes.
That puts a lot of pressure on, just the family. Like, that's why we're trying to educate more viewers, because it not only affects us, if we think about, I guess, being selfish, it also affects our friends and our family. So I'm so happy to hear your story. And I know that
it's true. You say it can affect everyone. It's really true what you say, because I had so many problems with the food. I couldn't eat no more. So I was eating more like smoothies and drinking, because not drinking like alcohol, but drinking smoothies and water or juice, because I couldn't take the food. It was stuck inside my throat and inside my esophagus. I don't know if it's a good word in English, but inside I felt so bad, and I was choking, and sometimes I even like passing out when I was eating. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna pass out," because the food was stuck inside. So I didn't go to restaurant. I refused to go to friends. I refused to eat in front of people. I was thinking all the time, will I choke this one? Will I be like this? And after explanted, I could eat everything I want. So that was changing my life. I could live again. So I think it's a good thing. So I made a good choice, and especially that I made a good choice to choose Dr. Fang, because she had the real experience, and she's an expert, and she was so wonderful. Like, I never met someone so good like this, and her staff too. They're so perfect.
And we need that for the viewers too. A lot of us, unfortunately, going through this, because it sometimes looks invisible. I mean, when you look at us, we don't look like we're sick, right? Because even when I had cancer, people are like, "You don't look like you have cancer." I'm like, what does that mean? Right? So again, I want to thank you for sharing your story, and I'm so happy for you and your family and your animals, because everyone's excited. And again, these videos for everybody, please make sure you log on to our charity, superhairoes.org, our preventative healing community, medicallychallenged.community. We'll pan some group pictures in. Feel free to join those. And again, thank you so much. You're
welcome. Yeah. Thank you for asking me.
Bye.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.